Hello, kittens. This is Kpop Juice. I'm Ananas, and this is highly experimental because I'm outside and I'm trying to walk and talk. I know I'll get too tired too fast, but I'm curious to see what happens. I'm gonna talk about ENHYPEN members, what they are like, and why I like them. And we're doing them by age order. So the eldest, born 2001, that seasoned veteran, Lee Hee-sung, known as Hee-sung. That is a blessed person. Hee-sung was always known as the ace, and he's the type of guy that's really good at everything. He's good at everything in terms of the skills he needs to perform, and he's good at everything in generally. He just tends to be good at everything. Obviously, the vocal thing, he's a very gifted dancer, singer. I apologize. And when I first started looking into ENHYPEN, and even all the way till now to a degree, because it's only been a few months, I've always had a hard time, especially in the beginning, trying to tell their voices apart in the songs. And with him, it's actually very hard. The vocal tone doesn't stand out, and his vocal tone is really normal, and also he's kind of a chameleon. He can do various things with his voice, and he can sound like the others easily. I could never tell his vocal tone apart, but I can recognize his song parts quite often, actually, because the vocal technique is so superior. If someone is doing something incredible on an ENHYPEN track, it's probably him. So we all know that he can dance, and we all know that he's also a visual. He's very beautiful. He's slender and graceful, and he looks like a fawn, like a baby deer or something. He's really appealing, and his personality is kind of amazing. It's actually completely amazing because, on the one hand, he was always the ace. He's the best at everything, and so he's confident. He's also the eldest in his group, and even before that, everyone looked up to him. And he has this personality drive where it was specifically Hee-sung and Nikki. They have this virtuoso personality drive where they have to wow everyone, and in order to do that, they never let you see them sweat, but instead they go kind of behind the scenes and work so hard. No one knows how hard they work, but like Hee-sung is so hard on himself. He's such a perfectionist, but then he has to, come and wow you. He can't be okay with ever not doing amazing. So he's so brilliant, and he's also brilliant. Like, he's really smart and good at everything, and creative and musical and ambitious, really ambitious. And he's the eldest in the group, and no one else is in his age line. So, and also, like I said, his vocal ability is something that group really relies on. And so he's an imposing figure. He's also kind of an independent guy and confident guy. So there's all of that. But then, on the other hand, at the same time, he is friendly. He is naturally goofy and funny, and with all the physical comedy that happens, usually spontaneous, often accidental. That guy falls off chairs more often than anyone. It just happens, just by accident. It's kind of amazing. And he's friendly and he's attentive. He cares about the others. You saw it on Island. Everyone saw it like so clearly because he would get particularly sad when people got eliminated. He was always emotionally engaged with others. So he's kind of a caring, loving person and a goofy person, a fun guy. So he kind of has two sides that balance each other out. And he's like the perfect boy. He's really the perfect boy. So easy to love. And I'm always curious about him. He's always interesting. And I know I'm forgetting some stuff, but let's move on to Jay. Jay was born in 2002. The first age line is 2001, that's just Hisung. And then 2002, there's 3 members. Jay and Jake and Sunghoon. So Jay is he's very relatable, but he doesn't mean to be. He's actually trying to be cool. That's what makes him so relatable. Jay tries to be cool, and it's like that thing where Kpop idols are always trying to do aegyo and be cute and do cute things, and it's preposterous. It's ridiculous. It's obnoxious, but they really don't need to do that because when they don't do that, they're like intensely and impossibly cute. So the same thing with Jay. He's always trying to be cool, but he's naturally cool. He really doesn't need to try to be cool. Him trying to be cool is by far the least cool thing he ever does. But him always trying to be cool is kind of part of what makes him so relatable. He's naturally a cool guy. He's also kind of confident, also kind of independent. Also, he's a brilliant cook. He's a chef. He's a foodie, and that's cool. And he's a strong dancer and a strong singer. And one of the great things about him is he's a natural conversationalist, and he talks, and when he starts talking, he like starts talking really fast, and it's very entertaining. And I mean, many people maybe are not like that, but for me, I really love talkative people, and I really love people that talk a lot. So I really, really love him for that. You know, the amateur philosopher. And actually, well, I mean, I do have a bias, and my bias is Jungwon. So for me, I have this unconditional love for Jay because of how much he loves Jungwon. And they're very, very, they tend to be very spellbound by each other. Like, Jay is protective of Jungwon, but is also really, really taken with how cute he is. And Jungwon always kind of looks up to Jay, and he finds him entertaining and cool at the same time. And whenever they get asked a question, that's the first person they look at. That's the first person they think of is each other. So they really love each other. So I really love him for that. I really love Jay for how much he loves Jungwon. It's also good for the group dynamic because Jungwon is the leader, and that means that everyone relies on him, and he's always looking over everyone and kind of taking care of everything. He really does take care of all the members, and he really needs someone to rely on. And he has that thing with Jay of like a comfort relationship, someone that he can feel more at ease with, and they've always had that. And they're very kind of devoted to each other. So I'm always happy for Jungwon and happy for the team that there's someone he can feel more at ease with, someone to rely on. Hisung, by the way, people who know ENHYPEN know this, that Hisung was always kind of expected to be the leader of ENHYPEN, and when the time came to actually decide the leader, there was a very methodical process, and various good leadership qualities were detected in various members. And in the end, it came down to two people that are particularly like perfect leader material for ENHYPEN, that both were so perfect for this, and that's Hisung and Jungwon. And Hisung was always the natural choice because that's how everyone viewed him anyway, because he's the best at everything, because he's smart, because he's the eldest, because he's confident, and he was always going to be a natural leader for them. And the interesting choice was made to have Jungwon be the leader, and it seems like really possibly the biggest reason for that was because Hisung is, to begin with, that imposing figure. Independent, confident, older than everyone else, and good at everything. They're both perfect leader for the group, perfect leaders for the group. But with it not being Hisung, it's easier for the members to approach their leader, and it's also, I think, it's easier on Hisung, which is always hard on himself. So at least he doesn't have that to worry about. And then there's Jake, whom Jake is honestly, he's really the most lovable member, really, because he's the sweetest member. He's the most warm, the most friendly, the most outgoing, and he's the one that makes them feel the most comfortable, the most lighthearted. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. Just a friendly, fun, warm guy. And artistically, it's interesting. He definitely doesn't stand out artistically. With singing, most of them are better than him with singing. Even with dancing, many of them are better than him. So like, it doesn't stand out at all. But there are two things about that. One thing is he tends to be kind of a quick learner, and he works hard to improve, and he actually improves really fast. He tends to learn well, just in general. He improves fast. I remember even in Island, that reality show where they were chosen, that Jake was praised for advancing really fast. He started out with limited experience, and right away he started improving fast. So he does improve fast. And the other thing about him, as an artist and a performer, is he's particularly good on stage with facial expressions and with the emotional intent of the song that they're performing. He really gets that. He has both kind of a versatility and a charisma. So the facial expressions are fantastic, and they kind of make up for what right now is a limited performance skill, like limited dancing experience and skill. That, again, since he's a fast learner, that will be better. But he's a very lovely guy. He's a puppy. He's almost like a, I think that he's kind of a lucky charm. He should be. And then there's Sunghoon. Sunghoon, the penguin. Sunghoon, the ice prince. That was a competitive figure skater for most of his life, and then he moved on to, he left that and decided to become a Kpop idol instead, and he brought some of that really unusual grace and balance that he has as a figure skater. He brought that into his dancing as a Kpop idol. And sometimes when you see that, there are moments that it really wows you. That heavenly symmetry and smooth movement and some really beautiful aspects of his dancing and performance style that are so rare that normally would never happen. But in his case, it's the years and years and years of figure skating, as well as some natural talent, I imagine. I'm sorry for the noise. I hope you can hear me. Let's just be a moment. Sunghoon's singing voice, it mostly is not that unusual, or it's a little nasal, but then there are some parts of his vocal range and some things that he does with singing where his vocal tone actually gets like this gentle husk that's so beautiful. He's kind of like Jake, where his skills are always a little limited, but he also works very hard. He's very diligent and stubborn. He just works and works and works, and he gets better. I think that both of them will be very good. And they do well already, they do fine, but they'll be good. They work so hard. So he's relatively the guy that's a little bit more, he's the Ice Prince. His personality has a little bit more of the reserved thing, a little bit more icy sometimes, and someone on Twitter said he's cunning. He likes to tease Sunu. He likes to torment Sunu. He's just a little bit more reserved. Not so naturally outgoing, but it's really fun when he gets hyperactive sometimes. But it's just not... I don't think he's very good with showing emotions, maybe. He's not one of those people that easily can be emotional. I think maybe, I don't know. He's actually very young, and maybe his personality hasn't fully congealed, and very possibly I don't understand him that well because I do have a different personality than him. So he's he kind of shines with his beauty, with his grace, but he's kind of reserved. Harder to get close to. And there's probably other stuff about him that I'm just forgetting. There's other stuff I don't remember. So these are all the guys that were born in 2002, Jake and Sunghoon. And then all the babies are each 1 year apart. 2003, that's Sunu, which Sunu is a gifted singer that has great vocal agility, and he has an interesting vocal tone, a bit of a lower voice, a little bit. Gets super interesting, can do nice stuff with it. He has a different personality and persona than any of them, which is obvious right away. He's the kid that's kind of born to be on camera and to be on social media. He's like this natural performer that needs to be performing and needs to be seen, and he has endless natural cuteness, and he has the most impossibly bright smile that I've ever seen in my life, and a lot of like a softer side to him and a lot of like a sassy side to him. His eye rolls are legendary. He's always rolling his eyes because everyone's always teasing him and he always gets deeply disgusted. He has a very unique face, an absolutely beautiful face, and the most impossibly gorgeous fox eyes that are so rare, with also kind of a rare eye color. That's like a brown hazel eye color that's so beautiful. And he has these angles that he can take photos. He has these good angles that he does the fox eye gaze, and he's so devastatingly deadly. It was always like that. It's just like a gift. That charisma. But I feel that like his relationship with people is very interesting, because on the one hand he's so outgoing, and bubbly and cute and so friendly. He's always the one that you send to interact with fans and make videos and take selfies and do craft and film it. I don't know. So he's so outgoing and bubbly and a great social media presence, etc. And at the same time, he actually gets surprisingly quiet when all of the group is on camera or doing an interview or any of that, or playing games or whatever. He's like a very like passive presence that can be very quiet most of the time, and for some reason he's like never dominant and always kind of, it's weird. Has like a very quiet side, or again a little passive. I don't know what that is. It's interesting. It's like a strangely introverted side. It's very interesting. Again, very good singer, very beautiful voice. Might have the most beautiful voice in that whole group, kind of off the top of my head. And he looks like someone that maybe low-key, kind of behind everyone's back, probably actually does have secrets that we don't know. The mysteries of Sunu. I have no idea what they are. And then 2004, right? 2004 is Jungwon, the second youngest, the group leader. My bias. Although I have 3 biases, but he's like my number 1 bias. Jungwon, he's kind of an all-rounder, but more than anything, he's a dancer. He's kind of a hip-hop dancer, but he's also a strong singer. Like Hee-sung, Jungwon is particularly intelligent and attentive, and he was really born to be the leader. He does always notice everything. He notices everyone, and it's not only a cerebral thing with him. Like, he notices everyone, and he also kind of takes care of them. So he's the exact right personality to be the leader. He's famous for having cat-like eyes and for being very cute. Just naturally cute. But he's also very sharp, very witty, very snarky. Kind of a strong guy, like just a strong person. And one of the most obvious qualities that he has is how stable he is, how reliable he is, how focused he is, how steady he is. That's a wonderful quality, and it's also an attractive quality to me personally, because I was always the opposite of that. By my nature, I'm mercurial, so this is nice. I like this. That would be like a good quality that I'm lacking. And then 2005 is Nikki, who moved to Korea from Japan when he was ridiculously young, like a kid, like a teenager, to pursue his dream. He was always a dancer. He was a dancer since 3 years old, but at some point he figured he actually wanted to be a K-pop artist, and then he moved to Korea, and he's a miraculously strong person, tenacious, mature, really mature, obviously very brave, very fearless. This thing that he has taken upon himself to do at this young age, to be cut off from his family and go work on his career at another country, different language, when he's just a kid, is so impressive. And in ENHYPEN, he's not that engaged in like the conversations, etc. But he is confident and, well, not exactly confident, but he's independent, relatively speaking. He's emotionally and mentally independent. Again, he has very, very mature personality. I don't know that he ever got to be a kid. He lives the life of an adult. And he lives it very well. There were signs showing that it's not easy for him. Like the fact that he never sleeps alone. That's what happens when you move to another country when you're just a kid. He always has to sleep in bed with someone else. Okay, he's probably lonely. And he is a rare dance prodigy, which everyone knows. But he's not just a dance prodigy. I mean, I've seen people in K-pop be brilliant dancers when they're just little kids, but he's a prodigy performer, very well-rounded performer. Even with the acting and emotional expression and the raw intensity and everything, that's such a already fully cooked, fully baked performer. He's just a little kid. People are jogging. He has an interesting voice. He was kind of the weakest vocalist when they started, but there was always the obvious potential, because the stuff that he lacks as a singer is the technical stuff that you can learn and you can improve, and the stuff that he does have is more innate. Like, he's expressive, naturally expressive, and he has a very interesting voice, and also a lower pitched voice. That's very valuable. His voice has already been used here and there to do some interesting stuff that is kind of intriguing and fun and very promising. I don't know if he'll be like a very good singer technically, although it's possible because he's very young and he's gonna improve a lot. He has a lot of time. I'm sure he'll be a good singer. I don't know exactly how to what degree. He'll be good, it's just a question of how good. But he'll always be a valuable singer, an interesting singer, a unique voice. I really think he could become a good singer. I'm just curious to see how good he gets. So I am forgetting lots of stuff and I will kick myself for it later. But this will have to do for now. So thank you for tuning in, kittens. It was nice having you.